So I've got my plumbing sealed in. I used a Teflon tape for the joints, and then I used Mega Lock on top of that. And so you can see it there, the bluish color. And then I've got this hose installed. I need a few more hose clamps. I'm ran out for some reason. Thought I had enough. But then also you can see what I've got is those U-bolts that, again, they're all snugged up there, holding that plumbing down. And then I went ahead, I've installed my exhaust system. Also, I do need to do a little work on the seat. I put the seat frame, rear seat frame in, and just to see how it fit, and it's snug on that inside edge on that hose. I need to be able to have those mufflers cocked a little bit like that on this side and then opposite on that side. That way this distance from the inside of the stringer to the inside of the hose is 4 inches, because I'm going to be boxing that in. So it's sticking out a little bit more than that. And so this, and I've got those supports, like I talked about before, they're holding the hose up, and then I've got these hose clamps that are clamping that down. I don't have them all snugged up just yet. But they're snug, but not totally tight. And so that's what it's looking like, and the mufflers fit nicely in there, and all my plumbing fits nicely, and that way I can access it as I need to, just by removing this seat over here. So it'll make it real nice. Got the main shut off there. That way when I'm flushing the engine, and then I've got that shut off there, and that's the flushing tee. So I'll hook a hose up, just a carbon hose up to that. And then, so I'll close this, open that, and that way it'll flush water, and then that hose runs. It'll go right up into the seat strainer, and then it goes onto the engine. So things are coming along and coming together. Oh, and that's just a mock-up of my motor box. I'm just trying to see how things are going to fit before I cut the real wood. I'm going to be using marine grade plywood for that. Here's a better view of how I've got, you can see a piece right there, that piece of wood. I've got that so it screws down to 2 battens. You can't really see back behind there, the other side of that hose, and then that's what I have those U-bolts attached to. And so that's what secures the valve, kind of that valve assembly down. So that shows that a little bit better how I have that. And this, I thought I would show what the pickup looks like in the bottom, sealed up with the 3M4200. And so there are 3 screws, I mentioned before, one on each side and one towards the front. And so I just ended up using screws. I know originally, or earlier in an earlier video, I talked about how I was going to use bolts, but I decided to go ahead and use screws because the top part of that pickup, of course, has, it's all threaded, so there's a big nut. And then what I did do also is on that nut, give me a second. So under that nut, basically a big nut there, because that whole assembly or that pickup is threaded. I made a gasket, a rubber gasket. I cut it using hole saws to cut the center out and then the outer diameter. And there's a nice gasket, or a gasket that'll create a nice water seal. So the reason I have that gasket is because I don't want, if water gets in the boat, I do not want it going down in, of course, the hull, because I'd be worried about rotting